Okie dokie. Today we're going to learn about the legend of Cain, the biblical figure who is believed by some to be the origin of all vampires. We're going to talk about how ancient texts, folklore, and modern interpretations have shaped this myth, and we'll discover how Cain's story transitioned from the pages of the Bible to the shadowy realms of vampire lore. All right, let's do this. The mythology of Cain is often tied to vampire lore. This was a curse placed on him by God, giving him immortality and an unquenchable thirst for blood. He was branded with the mark of God. Cain is also linked to dark supernatural themes through the Qliphoth, which are representations of evil or impure spiritual forces in Jewish mysticism. They're the opposites of the Sefirot. Cain is a story that comes from the book of Genesis. He's widely known for committing the first murder by killing his brother Abel. And the story begins with Cain and Abel, sons of Adam and Eve, offering sacrifices to God. Abel, who is a shepherd, brings the rest of his flock, while Cain, a farmer, offers some of his crops. God prefers Abel's offerings, which stirs envy and anger in Cain, and consumed by jealousy, Cain invites Abel to go out into the field where he attacks and kills him. This act marks the first murder in recorded history, deeply shocking for its unprecedented nature. When God confronts Cain asking where Abel is, Cain responds with the famous line, "Am I my brother's keeper?" For his crime, God curses Cain. The curse involves more than just guilt and fear from his savage act. God marks Cain and condemns him to live a life of endless wandering. The mark serves as a signal to others that killing Cain will bring sevenfold vengeance upon them. As part of his punishment, Cain must leave his home and become a restless wanderer on the earth, forever carrying the burden of his sins. The curse placed on Cain by God after the murder of his brother Abel is one of the intriguing aspects of this story. Some interpretations suggest that this curse went beyond wandering. These interpretations propose that Cain was cursed with immortality and a relentless thirst for blood. This idea ties directly into the rich world of vampire mythology. Vampires, as we know them today, are often considered cursed beings. They bear the burden of living forever, needing to sustain themselves by drinking the blood of the living. By connecting Cain's curse to these vampiric qualities, we can see how this story has influenced and evolved within various legends. The notion of Cain as the first vampire adds an extra layer of complexity to his character. In these retellings, Cain's eternal punishment includes an unquenchable thirst for blood, aligning him with the archetype of the vampire. This idea helps to explain his perpetual wandering and enduring existence, both characteristics common to vampire lore. So Cain's curse paints a picture of an eternally tormented soul. He's forever seeking redemption, yet bound by a need he can never fully satisfy. This element makes his story resonate even deeper with themes of sin, punishment, and the everlasting struggle between good and evil. The Bible tells us that after Cain killed his brother, God decided to mark him. This mark was meant to protect Cain from being killed by others, but what was this mark? Although the Bible doesn't go into great detail, it's been left up to interpretation and speculation. Over time, theories have emerged about the nature of this mark. Some believe it was a visible sign, like a physical mark on the body, while others see it as a more abstract symbol of God's protection. Interestingly, in vampire mythology, this mark takes on a whole new meaning. Some interpretations suggest that this mark was a sign of Cain's transformation into the first vampire. This idea comes from the notion that vampires are cursed beings, just like Cain was cursed to wander the earth. Vampires are often portrayed as eternal outsiders, forever separated from normal human life. If you've ever watched the TV show Supernatural, Dean gets the mark of Cain on him, and it kind of looks like a duck, looks like a gooseneck with two little apostrophes. I'll put a picture of it in the little video that I'm making. The transformation theory also plays into the idea that Cain's curse included a relentless thirst for blood, much like the addiction vampires are known for. This connection bridges biblical narratives with vampire folklore, offering a unique lens through which to view Cain's story. It's fascinating how this single mark has been reinterpreted across different cultures and areas, turning a biblical event into a cornerstone of supernatural lore. Whether seen as God's way of protecting Cain or as a curse transforming him, the mark of Cain continues to capture our imagination, merging the themes of divine punishment and supernatural existence into one narrative. The concept of Cain transforming into the first vampire isn't present in traditional Christian scriptures. This intriguing idea comes from early folklore and various apocryphal writings. These ancient stories often recast Cain as the originator of cursed undead beings. In these accounts, Cain's punishment by God takes on a more sinister twist. Rather than just wandering eternally, Cain is depicted as living with an unending thirst for blood as a form of his damnation. This version of the story suggests that his act of fratricide imbued him with a dark supernatural condition, forever altering his existence. Over time, these tales explore the idea of Cain as a primordial vampire, preying on the living to sustain his cursed life. This portrayal not only expands the narrative of Cain's punishment, but also injects elements of horror mysticism into his story. In essence, early folklore painted Cain as a prototype for all vampires that would follow. This forever cemented his status within the annals of supernatural lore. In Kabbalistic traditions, Cain is often linked to the Qliphoth, which are viewed as the evil or impure aspects of the divine realm. The Qliphoth represent the shadow side of the Sefirot, the 10 attributes through which God manifests in the world. According to these mystical beliefs, Cain's actions and subsequent curse positioned him as a figure embodying the darker energies. This connection to the Qliphoth ties Cain to themes of chaos and impurity, reinforcing his transformation into a dark supernatural being. The linkage suggests that Cain's curse was not just a physical or moral punishment, but a profound spiritual shift. In this context, his fate mirrors that of the Qliphoth. Both exist on the fringes of the divine order, embodying rebellion and exile. These mystical associations have enriched the story of Cain, intertwining him with elements of occultism and dark spirituality. In Jewish mysticism, Cain's transformation gains an added layer of complexity, representing him not just as a cursed wanderer, but as an integral part of the cosmic struggle between purity and corruption. This mystical interpretation complements and deepens the connection between Cain and vampire mythology, framing him as a timeless symbol of eternal wandering and spiritual estrangement. Blood holds a profound significance in the myth of Cain as the first vampire. It stands as a symbol of both life and sin, encapsulating the duality of Cain's existence. His act of murdering Abel wasn't just a simple crime, it was the first instance of bloodshed, marking a turning point in human history. This event led to his curse, a constant reminder of his guilt. In vampire mythology, blood is an essential aspect of survival. Vampires need to consume it to continue their eternal existence. Just like with Cain, his curse implied an unending connection to blood, reflecting the profound guilt he bore in the life he had taken. This symbolism extends beyond just raw sustenance, linking blood to themes of guilt, sin, and the perpetual need for redemption. The necessity of blood for life, intertwined with its connotations of sin, creates a rich narrative of consequence and survival, weaving into the broader vampire legends that captivate us. Cain's punishment includes eternal wandering. Just as Cain was condemned to roam the earth, forever separated from humanity, so too are the vampires often depicted as eternal outsiders. This parallel enriches the story significantly. In the Bible, Cain's ceaseless journey signifies a divine curse that will ensure he will never find a place to settle, adding a haunting layer to his existence. This eternal wandering mirrors the vampire's own timeless suffering. Vampires in folklore and fiction are often portrayed as beings who cannot die naturally, forever seeking solace yet always finding isolation. It's also interesting to note that, like Cain, vampires are typically depicted as unable to integrate fully into human society. Both exist on the fringes, cursed with eternal life but marked by their actions or nature to wander ceaselessly. This condition adds to their tragic allure. The theme of never-ending wandering serves as a metaphor for the ultimate penalty of their sins. Whether it be Cain's fratricide or the vampire's need to feed on blood, the story suggests that there is no rest or redemption for these beings, only an endless journey through the shadows of human life, forever searching for something they can never attain. All right. Have a great weekend. Happy Memorial Day. All right. That's all I got for today. Thanks for listening. If you like it, hit that subscribe button for us. If you don't like it, that's okay too. Other than that, have a great day.